Good morning, FlossTube. Lisa here from Dragon Stitches on Monday the 13th of June. Oh my gosh, we're almost halfway through June. When did that happen? I have a few things to talk about today. About my stitching, how it went mostly this weekend. I didn't really stitch much last week. Mostly I just stitched on, I had a long weekend because we had called the PD day, where teachers, professional development. Basically, the teachers have to get together, the school admin has to get together, but there's no classes, so we didn't have any class. And so I stayed home and I stitched. And unfortunately, I finished kitting up. That's why I didn't stitch last week. I finished kitting up and putting everything on project cards for Dragon Rider, and that took me 2 days, guys. Seriously, it's insane. I totally believe Tracy when it took her 7 hours, and I'm surprised it only took her 7 hours. It took me a lot longer, but I think I was a little distracted, and some of the skeins were downright frustrating. I'll go into that a little later. So I started on Thursday with Dragon Rider, actually stitching him up, and I actually did a floss a test stitch. It's very teeny tiny, you probably won't be able to see it, but the top the top is 1/1 full stitches, and the bottom is 2/1 tent. And I like the coverage on full stitches better. This is a dark purple. It was one of the ones that the colors, it's one of the darker colors in my, I don't have a lot of dark reds, I have a lot of muted reds, which is funny because the dragon is just red. Anyway, and I also did a color fastness test as well. I soaked this in very, very, very hot water, and there was absolutely no bleed. But the grid came off. This is actually the 25 count magic guide, and the grid came off really well. So yeah, there's that. So I did that, and then I wanted to get started right away. I was so excited, and I couldn't. It was bad. I don't know. So okay, I'll show you what I've gotten done. I'll just go right into it. So I also use painter tape around the edges. Don't judge me. I do not have any kind of sewing machine, so I wouldn't, yeah, I couldn't, anyway. But on this huge canvas, this is all I've gotten done. And if you can see, just make sure there's nothing too dirty on my desk or on my, that's it. That's all I got done. I'm trying to do a 20 by 20 square at a time, just so that I can still work within the confines of this grid, but it's confusing. It's not confusing me, but I don't get it, guys. I don't get what this parking allure is about, and it's possible my threads are way too long. I like working with really long threads, and I cut them all at like a yard long because I figured I usually, measure out at least this much, which I figure is about a yard, but then I mostly do loop start, and I'm not doing loop start here. So it's possible my threads are way too long. I don't know. So basically these colors here, well, here's my problem where I'm running into this with this. These colors here don't repeat down here. They repeat this way. So I figured I'm going to just park certain colors that only repeat this way. I'm going to park them over here to go this way. Is that right? Am I doing that right? I have no idea. I'm so frustrated with this right now. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there was like 6 different colors. 6 different colors in these like 3 or 4 strips. And there's so many that are only, I guess this is the confetti. This is where the confetti comes in, and everyone tells me that they hate confetti because of this. There's several like just one-offs in this whole 20 by 20, like one-offs, as in they won't show up anywhere. So I'm gonna have to. Do you do those last? You usually wait for those. I guess you wait for those last. But I don't see the appeal. I don't know if I'm gonna continue this. Here's the other thing, though. I'm not minding the Chinese thread. The Chinese thread is fine, actually. I really enjoy it. What I am minding is that they're so small. I find that to get them looking uniform is really difficult, because they kind of they almost look like little knots when they're so small and tight, and it just does not look even and pretty, and it just looks messy, and I don't. Ugh. And the back, oh, don't even talk to me about the back. I hate it already. I don't get it. I don't know if parking is for me, and if parking isn't for me, how am I going to be able to do these huge bats? I mean, I know some people do them cross country or traditionally or whatever. So it's going to go from about here to about here. Yeah, it's a big piece. So I don't know. Maybe I was right all along. Maybe big baps are not for me. So the other problem I was having getting into this one is I was having a really bad pain flare-ups. Like, I think I actually tweaked something so to make it worse on Thursday, and I started stitching this up on Friday when I was still trying to recover. And I usually do, I've mentioned this before, I stitch to not get rid of my pain. It's more of a meditative process, and it kind of just takes your mind off of it. And if you're not focusing on your pain, you don't notice it as much. So it kind of helps you. It kind of, you know, takes the focus off of it, and it helps. It's always helped me. So, but because I was in so much pain, I couldn't get into the flow. I couldn't get into it enough. And because I was always breaking to take on new parking, new strands to park, that even made it, you know, even slower. I could hardly get into it. I was only, you know, you only do about 6 stitches in each area, and you count those out, and then you're done. And then you do another stitch, another. Oh, so annoying. I guess it gets better the more threads you have part, because then just picking them up and going makes it really quicker. But I guess the starting just really sucks, because right now I don't know if I'm doing it right. I feel like it is a bigger waste of time than ever. I want to just keep stitching with the one color once I get to the point where I have to, you know, stop. I just want to keep going, and I don't know. I'm very, very, very torn on if I'm actually gonna like this kind of stitching. Very, very torn. So, anyway, I was so desperate to stitch. I guess my real thing was I really didn't want to work on it, I don't think, because I've been enjoying Crescent Moon Dragon so much. I was really excited to start, but then it wasn't giving me the satisfaction I needed. But it wasn't giving me my stitchy zone. I wasn't getting into the zone, so I wasn't feeling better. I was just feeling more tense because it wasn't working, and it wasn't what I wanted. And so on Saturday, I put this one away, and I said, not now. Also, I'm trying to work on a small, you know, I'm hoping to, I have plans to possibly build a PVC pipe floor stand for myself to use with like Q-snaps and stuff. And it's either going to be a better lap stand, so I can rest something here next to me, because this lap stand is supposed to sit on your lap, and it doesn't hit where I need to go. So I really want something that kind of slides down next to me here and can be brought up here, because I like stitching close to my face. It's it's more comfortable for me. So yeah, I want something that can put it just right about here, and this stand kind of does it, but it makes it very awkward. So, and something I could easily flip to the back as well is another thing I want to look at. I've been toying with some designs for a little bit, so that's probably not going to come for a while because I still need to get the materials and all that. And yeah, so for right now, it is just going to go away. I have all the threads. I can start it again whenever I want to. I'm happy that I got it and I'm trying it. I just think the learning curve is going to be a little bit steep, and I'm not sure if it's the technique for me. I'll stick with it. If you guys think that I should stick with it and keep trying it, then I will. If it gets easier, that's fine. It's just, I'm afraid that just the way it's asking me to stitch is just not for me. So, we'll see. So, Saturday, I put Dragon Rider away, and I took Delilah back out. And, oh my gosh, I've gotten so much done. I was so happy I took her out. So, on Saturday, I wanted to get away from some of these browns, because basically, that's all I was working with in Dragon Rider at that part. That part's all books on a bookshelf. So they're all brown, shades of brown. So I was working on her wing, and I decided, no, I have to get some more color. So I decided to do this part here, this yellow part here. Now, if you can see that, this yellow part, and it's really hard to decipher here, but there's actually 5 different colors in that yellow part. The great thing about it was that it was just one color repeated over and over, and I could just zone out, and I just got so much done. So I got all of that done on Saturday, and then I went back over here, and the last time I just had basically bare bones, just the darkest brown with a little bit of the most medium brown in there. And yeah, and then I just knocked out all this medium brown, and then the light brown here, and the lightest brown here, and I added this little tip because I had forgotten it. So I finished that one, that little tip, just the tip. And yeah, so her face, except for the little bit of krennic that's needed for her eye, is done. And her neck, and all this wing is done, and her wings are done. So everything from this up is done. Now I have to go down and do her body and her tail, and then at the very end I will do the gigantic moon that comes about like right here as well, which is all krennic, which I don't have yet, so I can't start those. But yeah, look how good she looks on that. I love it. Oh yeah, I'm so happy with this. And here's the really, like, this is this is an achievement in of itself. This is the back, guys. Yeah, look at that. This is the neatest back I've ever had in my entire life. I am so proud of it. I had to show it off. I'm sorry, but I had to. Look at that. Look at that back. Front. Okay, my bragginess is done. I'm so happy with her. I just want to keep stitching her, so I'm going to. I'm not usually a monogamous type, but I am definitely going to give her a little extra care and attention until she's probably done, or until at least I get the DMC done. And maybe put a few beads in her where I don't need to worry about the krennic, because really she needs about $40 worth of krennic, and I don't have that money to spend on the supplies at the moment. But here's to really hoping that she covers at least some of this, because this guy's face, if her body doesn't cover most, yeah, her body's going to cover most of it. It's going to be like that. So yeah, so that's Delilah. I had to take her off of off of the stand because I needed to move her. Sorry, I'm getting messaged. I needed to move her on my frame. I need to move her up so I can start working on the body. Don't know if I'm going to do that this week or no. Okay. So yeah, so she is going to go back on the frame and I will keep working on her. The next project that I'm getting stuff for tomorrow is actually a very special project. I'm sure some of you, I don't know if some of you follow Pyrex Stitches. Her name's Claire. Hi, Claire. She introduced me to the stitch along that's going on right now, and it's a stitch along for a piece. Okay, so here's how it started. The person who's in charge of all this hosted a stitching retreat or something and raised money for her local Ronald McDonald House. And to commemorate this, she wanted something special to give to Ronald McDonald House. Maybe something cross-stitched. So she asked, sorry, I'm going to stop playing with that. I have my hand issues. She asked Ursula Michaels, who I'm sure you all are aware of. She does the amazing word pictures. Basically, she makes a picture out of the words that are included. Like, there's a cross-stitch one, which is like a cross-stitch hoop, and has all the cross-stitch words in it. Anyway, I'm sure you guys have seen it. It combines letter work into images. It's really very clever how she does it. Very modern take on cross-stitch, which I really love. So she made a very special pattern that is a house, and it's all in red and yellow and black, so the Ronald McDonald House colors, and has all their words all over it, and very sweet pattern. And people hearing about the pattern, they started wanting to stitch their own for their own Ronald McDonald houses. So this has become now a stitch along to possibly put one of these stitch pieces in every Ronald McDonald house there is. And I thought that was really great. I am very much a stitch activist. As you know, I was unsuccessfully involved in the Stitching Out stigma. That has not gone away. I still have ideas for that, by the way. I was not able to finish my piece because of health issues at the time. So I still have it. It's half done. I should probably take it out and continue it at some point, but we will see. I have plans for it. I'm not sure I'm there yet. And anyway, so I went to look on, and the first thing I saw on the group is they said, please don't ask for the Toronto houses because they don't accept these kind of gifts. And I was like, really? My house doesn't accept this kind of gift? Really? That's kind of lame. So there was this whole thing. There was some back and forth about it. I asked about it, and apparently they've tried to get into contact with the Toronto Ronald McDonald houses, and they just there's just this disconnect of what this actually is. They don't want it. So every other house has wanted it. So anyway, even the family rooms, like there was no contact at all about, you know, because some people aren't. The Ronald McDonald houses also have family rooms in certain hospitals, so that, you know, families can be there if needed while their relatives or children are in the hospital. Keeping families together, that's what the whole point of Ronald McDonald House is, which I think is really great. Anyway, long story short, too late. What was that from? Long story short. Oh, Clue. That's what that was from. Long story short, too late. Sorry, I love that. It's my favorite movie, so. There should be some more Clue cross-stitch patterns. I might. Anyway, off topic. So, looked around. There was other Canadian houses that needed them done, so I'm like, well, why don't I just do one from a Canadian house? So I saw that the house in Quebec City hasn't been done. I'm like, that's really cool. I grew up visiting Quebec City every summer because my mom grew up just outside of Quebec City, and we went and visited family there every summer. So I spent a lot of my time in my youth right outside Quebec City. So I was like, that sounds kind of cool. And even with my schedule, my work schedule, and my finances, traveling there is difficult. But my parents travel there quite a lot because my mom visits family there quite a lot. So, and they have a summer home as well. So they go there. They go there a lot. I just said a lot. Anyway, they've accepted to deliver it in person for me because the ideal is to deliver it and to get an idea of the Ronald McDonald House and everything there when you deliver it, and they want pictures and stuff like that, and that's cool. But if I can deliver in person, my next best thing, I can get my parents to deliver it. No big deal. Good deal. So I contacted them last week, and they accepted. They said they were happy to accept it because we have to contact them because we don't want to do a stitch for someone and then like the Toronto house have them be like, no, we don't accept these. So I contacted them to make sure. They were thrilled with the idea. I offered them a couple of I needed to know if they wanted it personalized, so they gave me a couple of ways they wanted it personalized. So I have to kind of mostly just the wording. There's she was kind enough to include a full alphabet of her one of her, I guess, texts, one of her alphabets, and so we can use that to write like the name of the house, like where it is and anything else that they want included. So they had a couple things that they wanted included, so that's fine. I just have to worry about how to figure it out. I'm going tomorrow to get the materials for it at the Michaels nearby. I'm just really hoping they have some white even weave, because I really want to do this on 28 count white even weave, because I think it would look so good, so good on even weave instead of Ada. I can only hope that they have some. I think they had some last time I went, so I'm hopeful that they have it still this time. And it's only 3 colors, so it's not like it's gonna break the bank. It's not a big piece. It's only about, So I'm definitely have to work on that this summer, because the idea is to get it done this summer, and then come in the fall, they'll take it out then. So yeah, so that's some of my plans, and yeah, I don't think I have much else to talk about right now. Yeah, that's it. So I will let you guys go, and I hope you guys all have a great Stitch week, and I will probably see you next week. Bye.